Welcome back to the Life Be Lifing podcast. My name is Coach Emery Cannon. Today we have Sterling Execution Stokes the third out of Nashville, Tennessee, one of my favorite cities in the entire world. And today he's going to talk to us about execution, coaching, and how to make it all work together. Welcome today. Welcome. Thank you for coming out.
Well, thank you for having me, Emery, and thank you, viewers, for tuning in. First and foremost, just want to let you know that you can always reach my services at www.sterlingexecution.org. That's our landing page where you can go ahead and register for a free um, strategy call today. So let me just give you some insight on me and who I am and what I do. So I have a consulting company, and it's called Sterling Execution Consulting Firm. We're at the granular level. What we really do is we help people and businesses with productivity and accountability, right? So anytime that I'm speaking or being on a podcast, I'll definitely want to make sure that you're aware of what I believe. I believe, regardless of your race, your financial upbringing, your financial situation, your religion, or your sexual orientation, everybody has the same opportunity in life to be great. It comes down to your choices. Now, I've been coaching and developing people for over 21 years, businesses included. And I believe that these four characteristics are in highly successful people, and they are will, deliberate action, discipline, and consistency. And I believe these things because I've been around these people for over 21 years. Now, my company has over 60 years of expertise around execution. So I want to be clear on what I do and the services that I provide. I speak, I unlock people's hidden potentials, I train, and I lead people and businesses. I am a specialist. I am not just a coach. I'm not a generalist. I'm a specialist. I have something that I do and that I'm aware of moves the needle for people. And that's what we do for our people.
That's incredible. Tell us a little bit of what's your plan when you go into a place? Like how do you move the needle?
Well, first off, we have to have a conversation. So we need a strategy call, right? It's not about where I see your company or where I see you. It's about where you see your company or you see you, because life is you versus you. So during the consultation, we have surveys that we have our clients do, our potential clients. We get that information back. We set up a time to actually go on site to the business to observe. A normal observing period is around 5 days. Then we bring back the findings from my team and we build out a custom program to get you to where you ought to be. Because number one, you're contacting us because you have an awareness that something is not right, right? And the key to alignment is discovering where the roadblocks are and how we can add value and help you shorten the period of time of getting where you're at to where you want to be.
And so you named a key word there, awareness.
Mhm.
Now, how aware does a company have to be to know they're needing this kind of service?
Well, I mean, it all goes to revenue, right? Every business out there is looking to drive their revenue. So normally it's going to be businesses to where their revenue is being stuck or they're just hitting the same numbers month over month and they're not having that growth moment. Um, it's going to be employee retention. If you have a high attrition, how can you move the needle? How can you get to your financial goals if all of your employees are leaving, right? So it's really companies that are in financial situations are going to be the ideal company or a company that has become stagnant, right? And they need a different process or strategy or a system to change and to be within the times, right? The old, what is it? The old 30, 60, 90, that is an outdated method. If you continue to run that, all you're going to do is run your revenue to away from you, as
Exactly.
opposed to, having that growth. It's really big about, burning parts of the business, changing things, being agile. Those that move quicker are those that win. That's why it's so critical for you to stop delaying and go ahead and execute now, because the time is now. Every moment, every second that you wait, guess what just happened? Someone else has passed you up
Yeah.
in the race of life.
That is so true, and I've said it a million times. How big is culture in this? In your synopsis, how big is culture?
Culture is everything. Culture will make or break your organization. Culture will make or break you, because the culture has to be one of being optimistic, right? There's a study that was done by Harvard University where they saw that people that are optimistic thinkers, as opposed to pessimistic thinkers, actually live 11 to 15% longer than those that are pessimistic. So I'm gonna tell you right now, I know what I'm gonna sign up for is
Yeah,
have that optimism, right?
absolutely.
Because to me, without that, that's where death comes into play,
Yeah,
right? Growth is the things that allow us to help others. Um, and that's the exciting thing. So it's not for me, I'm about how many people can I get in front of? How many people can I impact? Because that impact comes right back. You see? So
ab-
not only am I teaching you processes, but I'm learning perspectives that I can take on to my next client to shorten the gap and continuously grow my business, as well as growing others' businesses, as well as growing people that just need personal growth as well.
that's incredible. Now you've had a 20 plus year journey doing
Yes.
this, and your
Yes.
background is MTSU.
Yes.
Yeah, so I
Yes.
went to MTSU. I love MTSU. Tell us a little bit about your history with MTSU before we move forward.
No worries. I'm an Army brat, lived in a lot of different states, happened to come and graduate from Hillsborough High School here my senior year. So I went to about four different high schools. In that time, I went to Alabama A&M first, and then transferred to Middle Tennessee State University, played underneath Boots Donnelly and Andy McCullum. That journey was just remarkable. I really feel that's where I got a lot of my grit and resilience, my ability to not give up, to continuously persevere. But it didn't start off that way, right? Because when you get to college and you're playing college football, you're like, hey, I'm going to the NFL. I'm going to the NFL.
Yeah,
I made it from high school to college. And that was not my story. My story was the reverse of that. Didn't go to the NFL. But what I realized was it was because of me, right? The opportunity was there, but I was fearful. I was so scared. I wasn't willing to do the things with deliberate action and discipline and consistency to get me to that next level. But I believe our unique life story is what makes us who we are as we grow. And that's what I got from there. That experience is that it is me. I was the one that was holding my own self back.
yes,
And when I started to run towards that fear, it truly did disappear. And like many others, I've had failures, you know. I attempted suicide. I've lost people that mean the world to me, but yet I still go. Yet I still know that every single day that I wake up, it's another day to be great and to impact somebody, build connections, foster those relationships, see how I can add value to them and vice versa. If we can do that and have that unity and grow together, you'll see so much sustain success, as opposed to, oh, you're hot this month but you're not hot the next month.
yeah,
So that's just my passion. That's what I've gone through. And it even gets even more, I can even get more in depth when I'm speaking to a potential client, so they really see that, hey, my life has been no crystal, stairs and just wonderful. I had to learn. I had to ask for help and have people pour into me, which has made me wildly successful. But that success continues to grow because every interaction puts me in another situation to grow even more and my people around me.
And so you talked a little bit just earlier about self sabotage, pretty much
Mhm.
within the mind. And
Yes.
I read a lot about that, and
Yes.
uh, I speak to my clients about self sabotage. And when I tell them about that, I tell them you can go as far as you allow your mind to let you go. Can you
Yes.
speak a little bit on that for us?
Yes, it's what my mentor would call the sewer cycle, right? Um, it's we have to be very careful with the things that we say about self, the things that we ingest by music or audio, or the circles that we are in.
Yes.
If you do your research, you'll find out that sometimes you just have to get a new circle. It doesn't mean you have to be rude or disrespectful to your friend group, but if they are not pouring into you and encouraging you, what are they doing? They are holding you back. Why are they holding you back? They're holding you back not because they don't like you or love you. They're holding you back because when you tell them an idea or something like, oh, you'll never be able to do it, it'll never happen, that particular action and behavior is their insecurities and their insecurity that is now feeding into your mind and your brain. And
Yeah.
your neocortex is where we make all of our decisions. And what happens is we start to believe what we hear and we start self-talk, and self-talk can be the death sentence of dreams and aspirations, because without deliberate action a dream will remain a dream. So you have to grow out of those circles. You need to start putting yourself into a positive environment. You need to read positive situations and books, right? You need to listen to podcasts that are going to inspire you to have deliberate action, to look for a specialist, someone who can help you unlock your hidden potential. You need to get into groups and get around people that are smarter than you.
Yeah.
If you're the smartest person in the room, you need to get really scared and worried and get out of that circle and get yourself into a circle where you see yourself, right? All things are created twice, once in the mental and the next in the physical. And it's up to you to actually go out there and seek what it is that you want, because another person cannot make you do something you don't want to do. And that's why I only deal with serious people and serious businesses, because at the end of the day, there's people that truly want to be in the 8% of those that actually succeed in life and live their goals, and to where their goals don't wind up in the richest place on earth, which is the graveyard.
Exactly. I've talked about that in my books, and I've talked about that in my workshops. Is there's so many people out there that had a lot of dreams, some great dreams, some better dreams than I can even think of, and they're all gone, and they went down with them. And so I always tell people, whatever it is you want to do it because it's something inside of you. You down here, you could be working as a forklift driver, but your mind is over here, and you get stuck as a forklift driver because you never had the desire or the emotional fortitude to keep pursuing your actual dream. And
Oh,
they
absolutely.
run into that a lot. Have you ever had
Yeah.
a conversation with somebody, and this just on an off note, and you see all the potential in them, but they don't see it in themselves, and they remain stagnant in that area?
Oh, absolutely. I see it so often. And it starts with a simple conversation on what is it that you're wanting to do? What are some of your biggest dreams and aspirations? And how can I help you attain those things?
Yeah.
Right? Um, it's so scary when you look at the numbers. And I'm a firm believer, everybody is born with a gift.
Yes.
And that gift needs to be unleashed on the world. And the culture, your circles, the self talk, all of those things can either help you or stop you, right? It's nothing's worth having if you don't work for it. So it's
Exactly.
not, I think what I see a lot in individuals and businesses sometimes think they know it all and they don't. They need to get a specialist. People think that they know it all and they don't. They need to get a specialist,
Yeah.
right? Someone to give you a different perspective. Somebody who may be where it is you want to already be can shorten that time, right? And what I call it for my organization is bend time in 2025. That's one of the ways you can work with me. It's a 90-day period of time where we actually analyze and break down different concepts within my book. From there, we also have a 12-month cycle where I will work through the complete book with you. And we start with the actual concepts that we found out through your questionnaire is the biggest gaps. And we go and attack that first. And then we work through the rest of the book. And from there, another way that you could work with me and my team would be through investments within my network, different business owners, people that are maybe in mergers and acquisitions, investments, and things of that nature. I'm definitely in those circles also. So
Yes.
I want like-minded people. I will not work with anyone that is a negative person, just because that takes away from my energy, and energy um, goes where positivity flows. Is my findings in my lifetime.
I found that anything is a transference of emotions. So, the energy you have with anybody, you notice how sometimes when you talk to somebody that's depressed, they kind of pull you down. I have to remind myself, like, no, we're gonna pull out of this together.
Yes,
Before we're done talking, we're not gonna be in this same space. And so,
absolutely.
what have you had to overcome in these last 20 plus years that's gotten you to exactly where you are right now? Uh, what what was a turning point for you?
A lot of different instances in my life were a turning point. One would be initially with not making it to the NFL, and I knew I had to do something. I knew greatness with it was in me, but I also knew I had a lot of growth that needed to be done. From almost committing suicide over a relationship that did not go the right way, my college girlfriend. And at that moment, I said, Sterling, you got to do something different. At that moment, I vowed that I would never allow failure to stop me from going forward. I started to take um, I guess it was a pivot happened in my life um, to where I realized that I am special
Yes.
and that failure is not a negative thing. Failure is something to make you have to do a course correct situation and pull out what you learn, pull out the good, right? But in pulling out that good, don't stop, right? Continue to move forward. So from that point, I get very um, into promotions with one of my best friends in college. We start promoting all different types of parties. Then I run into Jelly Roll, and Jelly Roll lives with us for some time, Jason DeFord. And that was just amazing, right? Seeing
That's
a different
cool.
perspective. I'm learning, which I've never been in prison, and he was in prison, that even those that may have done some really horrible things still have that opportunity to be amazing. So I'm learning from people. So I'm learning from people that, couldn't go out there and get a regular job, right? Convicted felon. And look at him now.
Yeah.
Look at where he is now because he never stopped. So that just aided to um, my growth. Then I go into corporate America and I had great leaders and people that are pouring into me that took me to newer heights. Um, I could go on and on and on, but I want to share some of those stories for the viewers to schedule their strategy call with my
Absolutely.
team, and we can go more in depth with it. But
Where
it's
can they
it's just
find you?
really what'd you say?
Where can they find you at again on your
They
website?
can find me at www.sterlingexecution.org. I'm on Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm also on um, TikTok, and you can buy my book
There
at
it is.
Amazon. Mentally Tough, Stop Delaying and Execute. The Time is Now. That goes through all 10 steps and strategies that will definitely change where you're at to where you ought to be.
Now, what brought on the book, and when did you write the book?
The book itself came out in June of last year. I was writing the book previously. The book, it was time for me to live my dream, right? And I wanted to tell my story because my unique past and story really shows that I'm no different than anyone else out there. But where I am different is that I have the willingness, the deliberate action, the discipline, and the consistency to go out there to help others and impact others and add value to others. And this story itself talks about me from youth all the way to where I am now and tragedy, right? Tragedy happened in my life. And what I mean by that is I was married and the first tragedy was the divorce, right? But I knew that it was the right thing for us. And my ex wife and I still co parent at a very high level. And we have two beautiful daughters together. Well, the mission of our marriage was over, but there's a continuation, which is
Correct.
being the father and the mother to my two beautiful girls.
Yes.
From there, shortly after, no longer than maybe a year to be precise, I lose my superhero, which is my father, Sterling Ross Stokes Jr. And I'm so blessed that, and this was unexpected, I'm so blessed that his last 5 days of life was with me,
Oh,
his son. And I went through divorce also. So it's almost like, oh my gosh, my sister was divorced. I'm divorced. I came from divorce. God, why is this happening to me? But in the years prior to my dad passing, now think about it, five. So 5 years, he came back into my life, and everything I ever wanted was happening in that moment. 5 days I spend as the only child, which my dad only had me and my sister, to ever, and mind you, my parents divorced when I was 14, to ever be at his house. And I was there with my two girls. And this was the year that the University of Alabama was playing Middle Tennessee State University, and it was Labor Day, and
mm,
it was Labor Day weekend, and I was able to be there with my father, with his crimson on, and with my Blue Raider gear on.
yeah.
And my dad was going to a business trip, every single year. I'd be like, Dad, when you're going to retire? Like, man, you've been working for over 50 years of your life at a high level, and it's time for you to, retire. It was always another 2 years, another 2 years.
Yeah.
So we were up there. He was going on a business trip. We flew back home on Monday. He had a business trip on Wednesday, and I get the call that everyone dreads, that on his way to his business meeting, he goes into cardiac arrest.
Oh,
Now, my father did not want to go to this business meeting, but the attorney was sick. So my dad was the big negotiator for Minerals Technology, which is a subsidiary of Pfizer Pharmaceuticals.
got it.
And he was going over there to broker a minerals deal. And no matter, and this is why I say it's so powerful with will, deliberate action, discipline, and consistency. He was all of those things. Even though he didn't want to do it, he knew the job had to get done.
Right.
And that job took his life, but that job also made it for me as being his son, as though he was passing the baton off to me. And this is why I'm so passionate for helping others through tragedy, right? Because it's going to happen, through making things tense in order for you to step up and show up. Because this world, as you know, will knock the shout out of you.
Eat you up and spit you out if you allow it to.
Exactly. But there's a different way of doing it. And my team has the strategies, and we will build out the strategies for you to get you where you ought to be. That's what life's about: growing, connections, helping others, adding value, and paying it forward.
I, I really believe in the last three that you said, which is adding value. I believe in adding value to anything that you put something that you dedicated your life into, whether it's parenting, whether it's your job, whether it's a certain area of life that you like, if you a hobby. But you need to add value to everything you do. And I think they said it in the Game of Thrones: make the place better than it was before you got there. And
Very true.
I've always thought of that as something that I personally wanted to do. And whether it's helping somebody else achieve their goals, whether it's helping my children, whether it's helping my mom, whether it's helping just a stranger on the street, get out of a mental state that this, thought it was never going to happen. Uh,
Yeah.
it's very important to help people. And so I can tell from the way that you speak and how passionately you speak, you really want to help those that want to be helped. And that's the
Oh,
key, helping those that want to be helped. Can you talk
exactly. And
to us
that's,
about that point?
yeah, I mean, the main thing is it goes back to that's why I only deal with serious people, right? And I can vet that within the first 15 seconds of having a conversation with you where you are on that scale.
Yes.
Yeah, it starts with eliminating excuses. And
Yes.
why? Because excuses are monuments to nothing. They build bridges to nowhere, and people who use them are often failures and conquerors are nothing.
Yes.
That's the first
That's my
part.
saying. I say it all
Absolutely.
the time.
Yeah, yeah. And it's
That's
very
my
true.
saying.
And I think when you realize that, that's when you start to shed some chains. You know what? I'm not as bad as everyone or my friends told me. There is greatness in me. I am starting to unleash and find out what my superhero power is.
Yes.
And that's why once you eliminate the excuses, now it's time for the commitment. Because I can't help you until you commit. If you can commit, I know and I can guarantee you and I can show you proof that it will work for you as long as you are willing to do the work, right? I can give you the best game plan out there to go out there and execute, but if you do not have the deliberate action and the discipline and the consistency to go and do it, coupled with will, then you will be where you are right now next year. But if you actually apply, get and do it even when you don't want to do it, that's when the milestones start to happen.
Yes.
That's when you start leaving where you're at and you're getting towards your big, huge, where you want to be goal. And that is critical and it can be done. You just have to make the choice to want to do it.
Hey, I couldn't have said it better myself. That's the exact thing that I'm talking about right there. And on that note, right there, where can they reach you again? Where can they get all of this motivation? Where can they get this execution from?
They can get it from www.sterlingexecution.org. I normally don't do this, but I'll also give you my cell phone number 615-397-2221. Understand the next decision that you make could change your life. Get in contact with me today on Facebook, Sterling Execution Stokes III, LinkedIn, same way, or TikTok, or face to face. I'm here to serve.
Sterling, thank you so much for coming on the show. You have really brought a whole lot of life onto the show today, and I can't thank you enough. Uh, guys, we're going to end it right there. And the reason why is I want you to go to the website. I want you to give him a call. He done gave you every form of communication to get with him. If you want to change your life, if you want to take it to the next level, please give him a call. Thanks
Absolutely.
again.
Thank you.
And thank you guys for watching. I hope it motivated you. I hope it made you decide today is the day to make a change. And so we're going to end it there and bye for now.
The time is now.